What's up, guys? This is Bolt Struck with Duck, and we didn't draft an O lineman. Yes, so this is, as of recording, the morning after the draft. So we're going over the Chargers pick of Omarion Hampton, who is a running back from UNC. So, yeah, kind of obviously jokingly led that we've picked O line 2 first rounds in a row. So I think just even aside from how I feel about the pick, I think as a fan, it's just exciting, right? Like, obviously, Joe Alt has been fantastic, and then we did end up getting a weapon in Lad McConkey later. But, it's sometimes hard to get super excited about O line. So, just from a fan perspective, it's nice to be able to draft a player who you hope you will eventually like enough to buy their jersey, play with them on the next season of Madden, things like that. So from that perspective, that's super exciting. And as a player, a lot of people had him as the best offensive player remaining. A lot of people mocked him to go earlier than the Chargers pick. So as far as value goes, pretty good. You could obviously argue that you shouldn't use a first round pick on running backs. But I think the last few drafts have proved that's wrong. Guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson have been awesome, have been game changers. So I think that myth's kind of dying. So it's cool again to have someone like that who is an offensive weapon, but also fits the Harbaugh Roman scheme, right? Because a lot of people wanted like Matthew Golden or wide receiver, things like that, and I get it. I would have liked that too, but that's not Harbaugh. So at least they met somewhere in the middle. It's not O line again, but it's not a flashy wide receiver, but it is a great offensive weapon who again complements the scheme because he can obviously run the ball and he's good in pass protection. So again, you can have that dual threat of being able to run the ball, which takes some of the pressure off Herbert, and also when you go to pass, you have a passing back. So super excited for the versatility there. And then even again, a guy like a Matthew Golden has a little bit of injury history. That's kind of why he dropped. So essentially took, I don't even want to say a safe pick because again, the value was there, but you took a guy who's probably going to be at the very least a league average back, hopefully. And, again, complimenting him with a guy like Najee Harris, who's 1,000-yard carrier, you got a solid backfield. So really, really solid pick there. I think anybody who comes from the same college as Phillip Rivers is good in my book. And yeah, so I think, going forward in the draft, it's one of those things where it's funny. It's once you start listing the Chargers' needs, you're like, how did this team make the playoffs? And it's because of Herbert and Harbaugh. So it's a little bit of trust the process. But again, so some of those needs are like interior offensive line, wide receiver, tight end, probably anywhere on the defensive line, to be honest. So some big positions of needs. I know the Chargers still, I believe they still have like 7 picks remaining, maybe more than that. So I would love for them to be able to take a few of those later round picks, maybe trade back into like the second or third round. Basically, I'm saying between the second and third round, I'd love to see the Chargers take about 3 players. Because again, I think there's, at least 3 big positions of need. Again, interior O-line, you have to draft someone. Tight end, unless you're going to trade for someone, like we know they've talked about Mark Andrews, David Njoku, then you need to take a tight end. Which, speaking of, I've seen rumors floating around there that the Browns offered a package of Njoku and their pick for the Chargers' Omarion Hampton position. Don't know how true that is, but either A, that just shows how much they liked Omarion Hampton, that they passed up on that, and then B, it would show that the Browns are willing to deal Njoku, who was kind of mocked the Chargers earlier in the offseason. So last year. But we'll see what happens. Another guy like Mark Andrews was rumored to be traded to the Chargers. But again, got to get interior O-line, so probably through the draft. Tight end, still seems like maybe they'll trade for someone. Seems like some rumors are still floating out there. And then somewhere on the defensive line, and then either draft a wide receiver and or bring my boy Keenan Allen back. So I think that about does it for this video. Overall, I say B plus signing. I think it, again, Chargers fans, you can't complain. They did get Herbert a weapon, even if it's not the weapon you wanted. You know, you can't be an armchair GM every single year, even though I am too. Basically, all I'm saying is you can complain, but also I would just be happy that they got a weapon for Herbert. So let me know how you'd grade the pick. Again, I'd say it's a B plus pick, but leave your comments down below. Tell me what you'd grade the Omarion Hampton pick, and then tell me who or what position you'd select in the second round. You can leave that comment below. Make sure to like the video if you liked the video, and subscribe for more Chargers content. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.